Hi, my name is Aya. You're watching Aya Reads, and as you can see, I'm back at my trusty spot in front of my black bookshelves. The weather is looking good for filming here, so we'll see if I can stay here. If not, I'll just move back to my white bookshelf. So I think I explained it before, but during the fall and winter times, whenever the sun peeks through the clouds, it messes up my lighting because I have like a giant wall of windows right here. So I just got really washed out. There was a video, I think it was my favorite romances ever video, where you could not even see my face. That's how washed out I was. So, but now there's no sun. So just the lighting here is enough. Anyway, this is neither here nor there. You're here to watch my January TBR, and I'm gonna pick challenges for my TBR jar. There are also some new releases I really am excited about, which I'll talk about at the end of the video. I told you guys that I was gonna put some new challenges in here. I unfortunately didn't get around to do that. So next month, hopefully we'll have some new challenges. So I'm gonna pick either 5 or 6 challenges. We'll have to see how it goes. So let's get started. Okay, the first one. Okay, color wheel, fun. This is one I haven't had before, I don't think. So let's do, okay, my hair is annoying me a little. Okay, let's do a screen recording and let's do a color wheel. Color wheel. Generator, I guess. Yeah. Let's see. Spin the wheel. Okay, I don't want one of those. I just want a simple one. Okay, you know what? Let's go back. We'll see. If I don't find the exact one, maybe I'll get a simple color, and if not, okay. Red or pink? Pink. Okay, good. All that stress for nothing. Okay, let me think of a pink book I want to read. This is perfect because I want to do an Allie Hazel vlog. Allie, I don't know what's wrong with me. I have such issues with her name. I call her Allie Hazelbook. Anyway, I want to do an Allie Hazelwood vlog at the end of this month, I'm pretty sure. Reading every single book of hers I have not read yet, and one of them is Love on the Brain. This is one of her STEM novels. I guess I hadn't heard the best things about it, so this one I just skipped. And that was before I started my booktube channel again. So I also didn't really, I didn't read it for like a Goodreads choice vlog or anything. So Love on the Brain is about these two they work for NASA, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so her name is Bee, and she gets offered the lead on a neuroengineering project, but she has to co-lead with Levi Ward, but they are arch nemesis. And I'm sure, as is typical for Allie Hazelwood, this is gonna be a pining hero, which I love that. Like I said, I haven't heard the best things about this one, but we'll see. I mean, it cannot be any worse than okay, I'm not gonna go there. But I'm excited about it, and I probably will be reading this towards the end of the month. So let's do the next challenge. Oh, 2 fell. Okay, which one? This one. Okay, 5-star predictions. So I did a video of my 5-star predictions in August of 2023. I'm pretty sure I haven't read all of them. I guess I have to pick one, don't I? Let me see. Okay, so this was an interesting list. Let me see how many I read. 1, 2, 3. I read 4 of the 10, and some of them I have given 5 stars. Okay, let me think. Which one do I want to pick? I'm gonna pick one that I know for sure I want to read in a vlog, so bold. I'm gonna go for A Heart of Blood and Ashes by Milla Vane. I'm pretty sure this was already on a TBR last year, but every book I picked in that last year is null and void. I'm gonna pick again. It's a new year, new me. If I picked a book last year that I didn't read yet, now is a perfect time to read it. So this one I want to read for a vlog that I actually wanted to do last year. I think I filmed my intro for that vlog, or my reaction for that vlog in like July or something. But I still really am so excited about that vlog. So I'm gonna do it, I'm pretty sure in February. So I can start reading books in January. So Heart of Blood and Ashes is a very big fantasy romance. This used to be very popular around the time it came out, which was in 2020, which was right before like the romantasy craze. So this one you follow a girl named Evin and a guy named Maddox. They are enemies, their kingdoms, but one day Evin sends Maddox's parents a letter and they come, and because of that event they end up dying. So he blames her for his parents' death when she really didn't have anything to do with it. So he wants to get revenge by killing her, but she convinces him that killing her will not bring him anything, but marrying her will, because if he's married to her, he'll become king of this land. And she hates her parents plus her brother, so in order to convince him that he can trust her, she ends up killing her brother, I guess. And I know there's an infamous, bloody hand job scene, I'm pretty sure. I don't know, but I've heard so many good things about it. I know Jen over at the Book Refuge really loves it. And I think I've been putting this off because the third book was supposed to be released like 3 years ago and it still hasn't been released. But I know there are technically, even though it's a fantasy world, it's all different romances with different characters. So I guess unlike The Kingkiller Chronicles, which is a series that I definitely don't want to start since the third book will probably never come out. This one, I think I can survive with the third book never coming out, I guess. Moving on. This one. Oh. Can you see that? I don't know if you can. Okay, I think you can. Old BookTube Darling. This is perfect because once again, there is a video project I want to do that a lot of people are doing on BookTube, which requires me to read like older books. So the stack is actually, I can look at it. So let me, okay, I know which one I'm going to pick. 1 second. I'm going to go for The Young Elites by Marie Lu. So Marie Lu used to definitely be a BookTube darling, like especially like her Legend trilogy. I remember hearing a lot about. I own that series. Still haven't read it, but that's neither here nor there. And then of course, The Young Elites was also a very popular young adult fantasy, and I still haven't read it, and I am forced to read it for a vlog. So here I am. Let me, actually, I bought it so long ago that I don't know what this is about. So let me read the synopsis. So you follow Adelina, who is a survivor of the blood fever, which is a deadly illness that swept through the nation years ago, or a decade ago, which is funny because I bought this book a decade ago. So anyway, moving on. And now the surviving children have been left with strange markings, and her strange markings have made her black hair turn silver, her lashes pale, and now she has a jagged scar where her left eye used to be. And these survivors also are rumored to have these mysterious and powerful gifts, which is why they're called the Young Elites. So you follow Adelina and Terran, who works for the king, and it's his job to seek out the Young Elites to destroy them before they destroy the nation. And you follow Enzo, who's a member of the Dagger Society, the secret sect of the Young Elites. This screams a love triangle, but that's okay. I do have to say, I am kind of in the mood for this like old school young adult series. So I am actually very excited. This is not too long, and hopefully I can find a good audiobook to go along with it. So far, this TBR is going well for me. This one. I don't know if you can. Book written by an LGBT plus author. Okay. Yeah. So I really want to finish the Priest series, or is it called the Priest series? I think so. Yeah. So I read Priest earlier this year and I really enjoyed it, and I really need to finish Sinner and Saint. So Sinner, I'm gonna be reading, it's gonna be the next book I read, so we're still in December, so I'm not gonna pick that one. I'm gonna pick Saint instead. So Sierra describes herself as a queer person. I don't know anything other than that, and obviously this is a male-male romance. She's obviously not a man, but I do know that she, like a lot of her books are queer in some way, so very excited about this one. So this series, you follow the Bell brothers and all of them and their like relationship with God and their faith. and they're all very, very smutty. So the first one was a priest romance. The second book is a nun romance, and this one is a monk romance. So you follow Elijah and Aidan became a monk, which I'm pretty sure the same way that Tyler became a priest is the reason why he became a monk. He used to have a boyfriend called Elijah, but they broke up, I'm pretty sure, when he became a monk. And now Elijah is engaged to somebody else, but he's also a journalist, and he goes to this monastery to write about these monks. And of course, it's going to be their second chance romance. And I've heard so many good things about especially Saint in this series that I'm very excited about it. And the plan is I was already planning on reading it in January anyway, so I'm very glad I get to pick it for this TBR. This one. I don't know if you can read that. Read a paranormal romance. Which is good because I've been meaning to read read more paranormal romances in 2025. And actually, Amber from Amber Reads Romance, which I'll leave her video where she announces this in the description, which you should follow her. I really love her channel. She wants to do a Immortals After Dark read along for the whole year, and I have been meaning to reread The Immortals After Dark ever since I finished it. Like, that series had a chokehold on me. It's definitely one of my favorite series. And since I flew through the series the first time, I didn't really get to savor it, and I wanted to reread it to really savor it. Now, I don't know if I can reread all of them this year because that's a lot of books. But I told her that I wanted to be a part of the first live show, which means that I have to read the first two, which means The Warlord, Once Forever, and A Hunger Like No Other. If I have time at the end of the year, I think I want to reread The Warlord, Once Forever, December 31st. So I'm going to just pick A Hunger Like No Other. I'm really interested to see what my thoughts are going to be for this book, since the first time around this was a 4-star. Like, it took me a couple books before I really got into this series. And this book, you follow a werewolf and a half vampire, and this werewolf called Lachlan, he has been trapped in the catacombs of Paris for years by these vampires, and he couldn't really get out. And then one day he smells his fated mate up above, and that gives him like the strength to get out of these chains, and he actually bites off his own leg so he can get free. And when he gets to her, he realizes what a travesty it is that his fated mate so happens to be half vampire, and he despises vampires. And that is the beauty of the series, is this deals with fated mates, but most of the fated mates are like, you are mortal enemies, how are you gonna get together? And I love how they do end up making it work. I'm just very excited about this, and I'm very interested to see what I'm gonna think of this book now that I have known and loved all the books in the series. And especially, you're gonna see characters who are gonna have their own books already in this book, so I'm very excited to see them, like to read about them again. And let's just do one more, because I do feel like this TBR has been very kind to me. So let's do the 6th one. Let's pick this one. Read a dark romance. Let's see if I have one already picked out that I really want to read. Let's do one that I think I picked this book in January of last year, and I still haven't read it. But if I'm not going to be reading this in January, I for sure am going to be reading it in February, so that's why it's on here. I really want to read Welcome to the Dark Side by Jonna Darling. This is a motorcycle romance, which means it definitely qualifies for a dark romance. And this is an interesting one because this has been on my TBR for years and years and years, and it's actually my #1 most recommended series on my recommendations list, which is a list that I talk about in this video. So this one, I don't know, I'm gonna put it in the cart. So you follow Zeus, and I don't know what her name is, and Lou, and they meet when she's like 9 and he's already 30 or something. And he saves her from getting shot to death, and then he gets sent to prison, and she ends up writing him in prison, and they have this correspondence going on. And then when he gets out of prison, I believe she's 17 or 18 or something, and they start actually building a relationship and a romance. So this has a very, very, very big age gap. I believe she is younger than his kids, and I sometimes got uncomfortable with these giant age gaps. But since I've heard nothing but good things about this book, especially, but also this series, I'm gonna give it a shot. So those were the challenges. Let's go to the new releases I really want to get to. The first one is, of course, Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros. This is the third book in her Empyrean series, the first book being Fourth Wing, and I have been highly anticipating the third one. So I cannot really tell you a whole lot about it. If you don't know what Fourth Wing is about, then you must have been living under a rock last year. So the Fourth Wing is a very popular fantasy romance, or romantasy, following this girl named Violet who, even though her whole life she thought she was going to be a scribe, now she gets sent to the Dragon's Riders Quadrant. And that's basically a death sentence for her because she is very frail and she's not as strong as other people. And somehow she manages to survive. And she meets this guy named Zayden who seems to hate her, but also seems very intrigued by her. This is a fantasy revolving dragons, and she gets her own dragons, and it's such a fun, entertaining series, and I'm very excited. The second one left on a big cliffhanger that broke my heart, so I'm very interested to see what the third book is gonna bring. Then one I really want to read, and I think I'm gonna vlog. The experience is gonna be Out of the Woods by Hannah Bottom Young. So I recently read my first Hannah Bottom Young, but it was a novella, and I'm very interested to see what she's going to do with a full-length novel. This sounds very interesting and very different from the romances I normally read, because this is about a couple who's actually already together. So you follow Sarah and Caleb, and they're high school sweethearts. They got together, like they got married when they were 19. But now Sarah's begun to wonder, you know, can this work, or should we go our separate paths? He does something that unearths a decade of grievances, so they go at it. So then they are trying to see, okay, can we, like, let's give it one last shot and see if we actually are meant to be together. So in a desperate attempt to fix what they fear is near breaking, Sarah and Caleb make the spontaneous decision to join a grueling hiking trip intended to guide couples through rough patches. What follows is a life-affirming comedy of errors as two nature-averse people fight their way out of the woods in order to find their way back to their roots. This sounds great. Like I said, normally I read romances like that are people that either don't know each other or like that haven't been a couple yet. And this is not even a second chance romance. It's a couple trying to save like their marriage, and it sounds amazing. The title reminds me of, obviously, Out of the Woods by Taylor Swift. And last, maybe least, because I'm not sure if I'm gonna get around to reading it, but it sounds like Everything I Love. So it's called, so I don't know if I'm gonna get around to it, like I said, in January, but I really want to make an effort. It's called Chase Levitt Wants Me by Helena Hunting. So first of all, I read 2 books by Helena Hunting. One made it onto my favorite books of the year video, and the other one almost made it. So I have been loving her books, and this sounds like the pining heroine book of my dreams. So you follow, I don't know what her name is. You follow this girl who has like a big unrequited crush on Chase, and he has no idea who she is. Literally, I'm so invisible to him that he once sat on me in class. But they become accidental roommates, and then because of a fire, their university moved them to like a hotel, and it only has 1 bed. I mean, is that just like, that is everything I wanted when I was having my unrequited crushes. I don't know, this sounds like everything I love, and it's not too long, so I think I'm gonna make a concerted effort to really read it. It comes out on January 10th, and it sounds like everything I love and everything I want. So I'm gonna really try. And the early reviews have been good, so cannot wait. So those are all the books that I am very excited about to read in January. Definitely let me know in the comments below if you've read any of these books and what your thoughts were. Also, what are some books you really want to read in January? And I hope you enjoyed this video. Definitely let me know by leaving a like if you did. And thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.